to that realness. I'm glad we get into this West Coast thing. I got my Vans hoodie on.
Oh yeah,
I feel like real West Side.
Well, we had Snoop Dogg on the show earlier, and he's actually going to be holding it down with us later on as we turn up in just a few minutes. However, I talked to him about the Rick Ross situation, what his feelings were, because, you know, Snoop having the reputation he's had forever, what he thought and made of the Rick Ross Reebok situation.
You know, he bigger than Reebok. You know, they wanted him. He didn't want them. You got to make it yours. If they don't want to get you the game, Rick, it's for me to you, Ross. You got to go to somebody that want to give you the game. You can't go play with somebody who you try to play with. Play with who want to play with you.
Let's say he really thought it was regrettable. Do you think it was advisable to apologize, or you would have just said, listen, you're an artist, it's a line you said, keep it moving?
We don't have no regrets as rappers. I mean, my class, where I come out of, the old school, I mean, we old school now, we don't have regrets. If you a boss, what are you doing dealing with employees? You're supposed to be dealing with a boss to boss. You could never drop me. Like Jay-Z say, I dropped the label. Hello.
Hello.
Now, I think that was a really interesting point that Snoop made, but I also thought of something else about the Reebok Rick Ross situation, because I thought I really had come to my conclusion on it, like that Ross made a mistake, should have apologized sooner, blah, blah, blah. But I realized Reebok made a huge mistake also in this situation. Reebok is dumb, man. They bailed on Ross for being Ross, essentially. Like, you knew what you were getting when you got Rick Ross. Rick Ross is not a clean rapper.
But still, it went too far, man.
But listen, if you were to go back and listen to Rick Ross's catalog of music he's put out, it is not far from what was said on that song.
The only thing is, the difference is because, I mean, there's tons and tons of drug talk, violence, but what he talked about on that song is crossing the line, even for a gangster rapper.
Totally inappropriate, and that's why he should have apologized. But after apologizing, they should have kept with him. They didn't need to drop him.
I think it was because he waited so long to do the proper apology.
I think it's because they got scared by a couple hundred protesters who don't know Rick Ross and who don't buy Reebok. All right, and the people who would have been affected by it are other people like that who probably don't buy Reebok or care about Rick Ross. But guess what? The people who care about Rick Ross still ride for Rick Ross. As we watch the video of Rocco performing this weekend and everyone in concert singing every word to Rick Ross's part.
Including the ladies.
They don't, because even though we all agree the line's inappropriate, no one thinks Rick Ross really thinks rape is okay.
Right.
No one thinks that. So they could have rocked out with Ross, helped him carve the apology, ended the situation. Now they just bailed out on hip-hop again. They're taking a step back with hip-hop, which they've been working so hard to get the last couple years. And you know, they're still always trying to catch that first place dog who's light years out ahead of them. You ain't even know. Nike got that swoosh sign. Ain't even know.
Syfe, Rosenberg, K. Fox, and Ebro. The Hot 97 Morning Show.